Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Greensboro, North Carolina. Last game coming up here between WCBA White, 17 and unders, WCBA Elite White. And they're wearing the blue road jerseys in this one, taking on the Bern Storm, who we broadcast earlier. And this is a title game in the 17 and under division, the Big East division. They have an ACC division and a Big East division. And we are underway. Championship Sunday, we're here. I'm glad you guys are here with me. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports, and I'm ready to take in some basketball action. I've seen a lot this weekend and more coming up here. So, Newbern Storm right away with the shot on the outside. The Newbern, as I said, are in the home whites. WCBA Elite White in the blue. And for the remainder of the game, I'm just going to refer to them as Newbern and WCBA. As both teams now working it around. We have 16-minute halves in this tournament. Normal stoppages of play, out of bounds and all that stuff. And neither team able to find the range yet. And there's a turnover. Newbern coming up with it. And here's the man of the hour, number 44, Zachary Cuthbertson. And he drains it right away, and that gets Newbern on the board first. Cuthbertson has had a very good tournament. 6'6" player out of West Craven High School. An unsigned senior. And he has been one of the main reasons that Newbern has arrived here in this title game. WCBA now working it around. Deep outside shot, that is good. And we have a stoppage. Trying to get something straightened out here. So we'll get our clock synced up. So let me talk a little bit about the clock and its little brief interlude. As I said, 16-minute halves. However, our on-screen clock is not the official clock. The clock in the gym is, and I know you're saying, Marcus, I can't see the clock in the gym. Well, we're doing our best to keep you up to speed and up to date. We'll adjust ours. And the reality is, in AAU, it's a bit more informal than high school, as anyone will tell you that coaches or plays or a parent who has a child in AAU, it's a bit more informal, and sometimes they do have to adjust the clock. There's a little bit more finagling that can happen, and we will do our best to keep up with whatever they say is good. And that's a finish inside there for Cuthbertson. Zachary Cuthbertson opening up with the first 5 points of the game for Newbern. WCBA working the ball around, and that's going to be out of bounds. And that's going to be a turnover over to Newbern. So both of these programs are very familiar with WCBA. Hadn't seen Newbern before this weekend's tournament. Did like them earlier on. We broadcast them previously in the tournament. And they have a very strong, resilient team. WCBA the same. Both of these teams playing well. That's why they're in this title game. Going the other direction now. There's an open three. No good. And Cuthbertson again from the outside, and he has come out firing early. Zachary Cuthbertson with the first 8 points for Newbern Storm in this one. Looking there, we've got a man in the post there. They decide not to go inside, work it around, back and forth from the guards. Looks like they're trying to figure out exactly what they want to do here on offense. Feeds it inside, and good. And that cuts into that lead. So both teams taking a bit of a methodical approach, but Newbern Storm is shooting the cover off the ball right away. And they take an early lead, and very early in the game. Dump inside, and good. Now Quashawn Bryant gets it over to Cuthbertson, and he's feeling it. And he should be feeling it. Another three for Cuthbertson. And he has opened up this game on fire. The 6'6" Cuthbertson. Now, he wasn't shooting that well in the previous game. He was the player of the game, so to speak, I felt. And we have a jump ball situation. Yeah, Cuthbertson was the engine in that last game. They play well as a team, but he was definitely the deciding factor in that last one. And he wasn't shooting the ball as well as he is here. So now he comes into this one just stroking it from outside, and that's going to force WCBA to account for him in some way. And here he is. He is deep outside there. I don't know if he's wanting the ball, but now he's drifted down into the corner. And WCBA has dropped back into a zone, which isn't something you normally would want to do if the other team is shooting well, but maybe they see something they'd like to try. And it's going to stay with WCBA here. Feed inside, and no good. Putback rolls around, good. So WCBA still working away. They haven't had a reason to really panic at all yet. There's Cuthbertson. That shot's too strong. He might be settling a little bit now. If you start feeling it, sometimes guys do a little bit of a heat check, and then when that goes, they start lofting things, and it's like, well, let's work the ball in a little bit. Newbern Storm from Newbern, North Carolina. For those of you outside the area, this probably won't be important, but for those of you, well, I'll tell you what. And I see Tristan Reese now in the game, number 3, really sharp guard. So first of all, let me give you a little fact about Newbern that's maybe of interest to you if you're not from North Carolina, which is that Newbern, where Newbern Storm hail from, is the birthplace of Pepsi Cola. Rebound on the inside, but ultimately corralled by WCBA. And now Tristan Reese bringing the ball up, working against Cuthbertson. Gets it up, finds a teammate, and no good. Rebounded. They've got a second crack at it right here. And that shot too strong. But a couple of quick offensive rebounds. And now finally, Cuthbertson comes down with it. He kicks it ahead, finds it, teammate on transition, and that's going to be another score for Newbern. Now here's my local flavor tidbit for you guys in North Carolina. Newbern, now everyone here knows the capital of North Carolina is Raleigh, but the original capital was Newbern. And you can go down and see the old Capitol building, mansion, what have you, down in Newbern, North Carolina on the Neuse River. Now WCBA, they're from Wake County. And of course that's where Raleigh is, so you got a battle of North Carolina capitals going on right here. Reese drives, spins, kicks it back out. Deep outside shot, good. And that cuts into that lead. So Newbern, shooting well early, built a bit of a lead, but Wake County just hanging around and calmly cuts into that lead and not getting rattled. Up over the top, rebounded by Reese. Now going the other direction now. Goes behind his back, decides to pull it up as Newbern has gotten back and set up their defense. Pick up the high post and kicks it back. He just drained that 3 a minute ago. This time it doesn't go for him. Up and no good, but he's going to draw the foul. And Wake County will be going to the line. You're watching the 2015 Grassroots Tip Off Classic, coming to you from Prolific Park in Greensboro, North Carolina. First shot good. And I do not expect either one of these teams to get in panic mode at any time during this game. Both of these teams, well coached, they've played very well this weekend. I was talking with the Newbern coach briefly, simply because, I wasn't that familiar. I'm not that familiar with this team. I did see them earlier, and I just said, you guys are really tough, and we were just kind of talking about how they play. And that's the thing. I try to get an idea of the coach's mindset as well. I like to know, what they're working with with the players and everything. So, if a college asks, about the players and what kind of system they play in, which is, you know, kind of questions some colleges might ask. You want to have as much information as you can. There's Reese. He's calling for the pick. Drives, kicks it to the outside. Deep shot, no good. Rebounded by Newbern. Shot no good. Put back up and good. That offensive rebound is a weapon that several teams have used this weekend to great effect. You've got to box out. And when you don't, and the other team can get to it and put it back, that's just easy points. And right there's the easy points for WCBA as the cutter finds his open gap there under the basket and keeps it close. So Newbern it still holds the lead, but they've seen that early gap that they built on the three-point shooting evaporate. Good rebound there for Wake County. Reese pulls it up, and he's going to survey the floor. Stolen on the outside, drive, and finish. And I believe that may have been Rasante Ellis, who also had a good game earlier. Rebound, another kick ahead, and there's Ellis up and off the basket in the dunk. That's just beautiful basketball right there. That's a little bit of razzle-dazzle that Wake County does not want to see, but Newbern really kicking it out in that transition game. That's twice now that you've seen Cuthbertson with that deep look-ahead pass. He's having a fantastic game right out of the gates here. Here's a three ball, no good. And once again, Newbern almost off to the races, foul in the backcourt. Today's event is being brought to you by Phenom Hoops. If you look at your scoreboard right now, you will see Phenom_Hoops is the Twitter handle. Give them a follow, and they will let you know of all the upcoming tournaments they have and events and photographs from this weekend's event, all that good stuff. And I recommend a big three on the outside there for Newbern, and the hot shooting from outside continues for them in this first half, and they stretch that lead back out. WCBA had cut it close, but just like that, Newbern runs it out with the transition game and now a three-pointer. We've got a foul. That's going to stop the action. And we have already played through a bunch of this first half. Knocked out quickly there as Reese couldn't get the handle around the defender, but it's going to stay with WCBA. And the WCBA has a few teams here at this weekend's tournament. I think their unsigned senior squad is very good, and you know, this team is also very good. They made it to the title game. But the one thing about the unsigned seniors, I think they're a little short-handed this weekend. And that's good. Three-pointer on the outside, good for WCBA. That's going to keep that lead in check for Newbern. And that shot is deep on the outside, and that's probably not the best shot. It was actually much closer than you would expect. And there's a feed inside, and that missed three on the other end allows for the run out and the quick score for WCBA, and they cut back into that lead, so they pull right back in close. Nice little crossover dribble, kicks it back out. Ellis thought about a three, decides to go up with the floater, and that's just nice. Nice basketball there by Rasante Ellis. Drive, kick to the outside. Feed to the post now, spins, nice little move, footwork, good footwork on the inside. He's got the hoop and the harm, and he's going to the line. That is excellent footwork there on the inside. And he may have shown up late or something. He has no number. He's wearing the blue shirt, perfectly matched royal blue. But he comes in, drops the free throw in. He doesn't need a number. Too strong off the glass. Going the other direction now. They don't have numbers. They do find the corner, feeds it back into the post. Up, creates space for himself, and he's going to get called for the offensive foul. Just a little bit too much of a bump there. And now Newbern. There's Ellis. Kicks it out top, and I believe that's Josiah Simmons that we saw earlier in the previous game. He's now in there, number 21. His shot doesn't go. And WCBA with a transition opportunity, and good. And I think that is going to be a blocking call. And once again, WCBA will go to the line. And this is a big shot right here. They never have let the Newbern get too far ahead of them. They've kept it close to, every time Newbern gets a little run, WCBA will put something together to put a little string of offense together and get back in it. Right there, tough, but they get the rebound. And I think they called a travel. Drive up and the foul. And that is going to send, I believe that's Quashawn Bryant to the line. I apologize if I'm getting that name incorrect. It's a little hard to make out those light yellow numbers on the white jerseys. If I could have two things from every AAU coach out there, please turn in rosters ahead of time, accurate rosters. That's my number one thing. And number two, I know that the jerseys are styling now. Everybody wants to have these really cool jerseys, but it's really tough to make out your players when you can't see the numbers. So I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm just saying that is a couple of things that will help your players get a little bit more notice, is that they should be able to pick them out, and they should be able to look down right on the roster. The college coaches should be able to look right down and quickly see who they're actually interested in. Steal on the outside by Ellis, up and good. And Newbern really taking advantage of those transition buckets. Early it was three-pointers, and now it's all transition. They're beating them in a couple different ways, and there's a big three-pointer for WCBA, and so, momentarily beating them. And now WCBA with the lead. Deep outside shot. That's no good. Battle for it. And we've got a foul. And I believe that's going to stay with WCBA. I'm sorry, with Newbern. Completely said the wrong team there. Feet inside. But, hey, I'm not unwilling to admit my mistakes. I'll tell you, I'm not like some sportscasters. I'm barely a sportscaster as it is. I'm just sitting up here. I'm a basketball scout that's trying to call the game. So don't mock me too much. Just bear with me. Good footwork again inside. He draws the foul once again. You gotta love a post player that can hit his free throws, get himself to the line. A, that's the first thing. B, hit those free throws when you get to the line. And that plus that equals offensive weaponry. Things have gotten much quieter in here. Now we see Torian Barnes, number 11 into the game, gets it back up to Ellis. Ellis thought about a drive, picks it up, and just drops that in. That's That is a nice looking little shot. Didn't get a lot of elevation on it, but took an opportunity where looked like I'm sure the defender didn't think he was going to take that shot. They go to the high post, surrounded by 3 Newbern players. Kick outside, deep shot, good. And WCBA not going anywhere. Using that three-point shot to stay in it. Batted back and in, another offensive rebound. Newbern has been using 2 or 3 different methods. The deep 3 ball, the offensive glass, and the transition game, and that has been their primary source. And here we go, another chance at the transition shot. Here's Ellis up and no good, but they once again get themselves to the line. And we have gotten out of sync somehow. We're going to work on that. Let's see if we can't get that straightened out here. So neither shot falls. WCBA going the other direction. Up, rims out, rebounded by Newbern. Now they're going the other direction. Up and finish on the inside. Transition buckets, the name of the game now. It's a repeatable pattern on both ends. Now here's Reese once again, his shot off the mark. We have not seen Zachary Cuthbertson much now after the initial surge. He came in and he was a destroyer out of the gates, and then since that time hasn't been as much of a weapon, but he was the first 5 or 6 possessions. He was unreal. And he'll definitely be a factor as the game wears on. Offensive rebound solid there for WCBA. They put it back up and in, good. Behind his back, Ellis. No good. Rebounded by WCBA, going the other direction. Spin move, and he got out of control. That's going to be a travel. So we wind down the first half here. There haven't been many stoppages in play. Now they finally get it up to Christian Reese, who's a solid ball handler. Feed inside to the post. Tough defense in there. He did use his pivot foot well, but wasn't able to get himself free. He had the double team. Probably should have passed it out there. Now, little floater over the top. Good. And we're working to adjust our clock here. We'll get that straightened out momentarily. And they got a foul with like no time on the clock here. If you're so inclined, you can follow me on Twitter at @M_Shockley. That's my Twitter handle right there on the scoreboard. Is WCBA taking a shot here, and that's good with no time to play here in the first half, and we'll be back in a few moments with the second half. But you can follow me on Twitter. If you're a college coach and you're looking for players, I will try to help you out. I try to help players find each other. So, players in colleges. And we'll be back for the second half. All right, we're about to get underway here for the second half. Title game here. WCBA Elite White. They're wearing the blue, however. They're the road team in this one, going up against the Bern Storm, 17 and under. And there's a foul on the inside. And we adjusted our clock and we adjusted our score at halftime. We had missed a shot by Newbern, so 46-40 to start the second half. Here at the 2015 Grassroots Tip Off Classic, coming to you from Greensboro, North Carolina. Free throw shooting has been pretty solid for WCBA in this one. That's been a big reason why they haven't been had to trail by much, because Newbern's really been strong in the transition. They came out firing in the first half, deep balls all over the place, and now we see Cuthbertson back in. Kicks it over to Josiah Simmons. Deep ball is good. Newbern picks up in the second half, just like they started the first half. So we'll see what WCBA, I'm sure they'd want to see more efficiency from their offense. And Cuthbertson didn't play a lot down the stretch in the first half. There's Simmons, and he gets his ankle turned. And I think they're going to call a foul, so Simmons will have to shake that off. And he's not. I don't think they're going to call a shooting foul. I thought he was in the act of shooting. I guess Chuck was asking, are we shooting or not? And the other ref says no. Inbound to Zachary Cuthbertson. Zach played at West Craven. He's from Newbern, North Carolina. Namesake of the Newbern Storm. Now over to Rasante Ellis. Ellis drives up over the top, no good. Rebounded WCBA there. Now they've got a shot on the offensive end. Knocked away by Cuthbertson. Well, looks like it's going to stay with Newbern that time.
That's the first time I heard that all weekend.
Yeah, I agree with that. Parents telling the refs they're making bad calls. You hear that every game, all game, no matter which side you're rooting for or against, or ambivalent, unbiased. You will hear that the entire tournament. Short shot, no good. Gets an offensive rebound. Finally gets it to go down. Nice no-look pass, feed inside, but tough defense on the inside forces him to go back out. Drive, spin, stop. No good. That shot misses everything. If you're interested in more tournaments and everything from Phenom Hoop Report, check out phenomhoopreport.com. Check out your scoreboard right now. You'll see the URL, phenomhoopreport.com. They have the results and the stats and everything you need from this weekend's tournament, and they've got more tournaments coming, so I strongly advise you to check them out. Coming up in a few weeks will be the David Rose Memorial Day Classic. We'll be there or here in this gym again for that one. Here's Tristan Reese to get the steal in the backcourt. Drive, kick to the outside. And that shot is good. But check out phenomhoopreport.com. Here's Cuthbertson, tried to do a little crossover, lost the ball, gets it back now. Deep outside shot, now it doesn't fall for him. It's a WCBA hanging around. I mean, I don't even know if I would qualify that. Tend to be when you say a team is hanging around, it's because they're down by like 8 or so and they just never can get over the hump. It does seem like the offense has been clicking a little bit more for Newbern, but, you look at the scoreboard, and it's not like WCBA's not in the game. They're right there, only down by 1. That's a tough shot right there. Probably could have hit the man underneath the basket, but it works out for them as they get the offensive rebound. And WCBA has to be kicking themselves over all of those offensive rebounds they're giving up, with the exception of their center on the other end getting a lot of rebounds. WCBA is giving up too many second chances on the defensive end. And you can tell the gym is clearing out now, and that's because as the games get better, you know, these are the title games, the teams that have been winning all weekend. But, you know, the teams that are losing, and you can see the Charlotte Royals, they won the 17 and under bracket for the ACC bracket. I mean, this is the other 17 and under bracket we're watching right now. But they're over there accepting their medals, winning the ACC bracket, and now we're watching the Big East bracket. But as the teams start to lose, then they start leaving. You know, they go home. Parents and players take off. And so usually the best games of the weekend, and I'm telling you this, if you want to be a scout and you want to just try to limit, you know, be as efficient with your time as you can. And there's Cuthbertson. He's fouling the inside, and he's going to be going to the line. So here's a little pro tip, I guess, for you. If you want to be a scout and your time is limited, try to be in the gym for Championship Sunday. You'll see the most teams that have been playing well, the most talented teams for that weekend, all at once, and you won't even really have to deal with as many crowds. Now, I'm a junkie. I'm going to be in here Friday, Saturday, Sunday whenever there's a tournament, you know. But if you have to limit it down to one day, you know, Saturday you'll see more players and more teams. So a lot of scouts, if they can make one day of the tournament, they'll come on the Saturday. But if you really just want to be efficient, you might want to think about just dropping by on Sunday if you're only doing a one day of it. You'll see less teams, but you'll see the teams that have played the best that weekend. You'll see the best games, the best matchups for the most part. Rarely do you see a championship Sunday when they get down to the titles and they're not good. WCBA now gets themselves back to the line, and they've been cashing in from that free throw line. That's good news for them. They're right here in it, neck and neck. And I'm not trying to make it sound like Newbern has them on the ropes. It just seems like Newbern is getting a lot of more easy offense. And, you know, but you look at the scoreboard and WCBA's they're not worried. Why would they be? And right there, they take the lead again. So Newbern's got to be thinking about why they can't pull away. You know, it seems like they get a good little lead, and then WCBA is able to wipe that away. And we're having some discussion there. Chuck is telling the players, cool it. Chuck manages all the referees in the region, and he always helps us line up top quality referees for our Southeast Summer Showcase this year, coming up on June 28th at basketballelite.com. I ask you guys to check that out. We like to pack the gym. We always bring in a bunch of colleges and a bunch of talented players. Tristan Reese, I think, came one year. Wouldn't mind getting this guy up there, Zachary Cuthbertson, if he hasn't signed. I know there's a lot of college coaches that would like to take a look at him. If I could, I maybe need to get down there and talk to him, see if his parents are here or his coach. I know his coach is here. So, you know, I really like to find those guys that can play at the college level but may not have gotten the looks that they should get, and then bring them into the showcase. Juniors, seniors, sophomores. We've had several guys come in several years. You know, the first year they come in and they haven't had any looks, and they're sort of unknown, and then 2 years later they've got the big offers and everything. So Tristan Reese, first shot is good. Now WCBA building a bit of a lead. Newbern's going to have to be thinking about how to come back a little bit here, trading back and forth. But WCBA is methodical. All of their teams well coached and consistent, and we're getting a golfer-like silence in here, I think. I guess that's good for a free throw shooter. You don't want to be shooting into a roaring crowd, but it kind of goes against the great achievement of these guys winning and then getting to the final game of the day. Once again a foul, and that's going to send Zach Cuthbertson back to the line. The 6'6" senior, West Craven High School, has been several times in this tournament. He's been a force of nature. He's been an impact player. He's an engine. He's one of the main guys, one of the main reasons that they're here in this title game. And I can't see this game finishing out without Cuthbertson having something to do with it. Deep ball on the outside, no good. Rebounded by Simmons up to Ellis, I think. Save, but it goes over to WCBA, and now they're going to pull it back out. They don't have numbers. And Reese is directing traffic. Takes the pick. Spins, kicks it out. The 3 ball. A few more stoppages in the second half, I think, than we had in the first half. And for those of you who have been watching some of our other coverage, you know we have a better angle on this court than we have on the far court where we've had to do the games at floor level. And we'll work to get a platform for those games. I appreciate it. Sorry if that's not the camera angle that's best. We do have a better angle over here. The goal is to try to give you as much view into the action as possible so that you can tell what's going on with all the players. Shot. A little fadeaway shot there from Ellis. Simmons behind his back. You can hear the coach yelling at Byron Addison there under the basket. He's got a mismatch. He's the guard from Noose Charter, and he's matched up inside against a bigger player. Fake drive, gets right inside the free throw line. No good. Oh, wait, it is good. Catching the announcer off guard, much to his chagrin. Drive. Looked like he was going to be able to finish that one. He's not, but road team picks it up. WCBA, deep outside shot, no good. Couple of cracks in it, but they can't finish it off. And who's the man of the hour? Zachary Cuthbertson once again pulling down the rebound. And that 3 ball, big 3 ball there. So we have a timeout on the floor. Let's see if we can't get everything squared away and straightened out here. 60-58 with 7:47 left. So we are going to update that. And let me tell you about Netcast Sports, who we're coming to you from Netcast Sports. You can check us out on netcastsports.com. We'll probably post all these games on YouTube. But here's what you got to know. See right on your scoreboard right there. At Netcast Sports on Twitter. Now, you're thinking, I got enough going on with social media, Marcus. I got enough going on. I don't need another thing to follow. I don't need to Instagram. I don't need any of that stuff. Well, first of all, if you're involved in recruiting at all, you know that's not the case. You can always use another resource. Now, here's the other thing. We are immersed in AAU. We are living AAU. We cover a lot of sports, but we know AAU in and out. And what by that I mean, we know that the tournaments don't run on time, and that's not the tournament organizer's fault or anything like that. Games run over, teams run late. And it's a tournament-style play. It's bracket-style play. You don't even know who's going to be playing in the second round because you don't know who's going to win the first round. Best way to find out when games are coming up or when there are replays is to follow us on Twitter at Netcast Sports. And we will keep you completely in the loop. Every announcement, every game, every roster, every update. And we'll even tweet out some of our area friends and partners like SUV TV and FBSE up in New York and some of those other area networks like our own. So we will try to get everybody as much action as you can. Now, I'm going to shut up about the little commercial pitch here, but please take a look at Netcast Sports because we do this trying to give these guys as much exposure and bring you good basketball no matter where you are. And I really want to thank some of the guys from overseas in the military who tweeted us this week and said they really appreciated us broadcasting the games. They're stationed overseas, and they're able to keep up with the weekend action and see some good basketball here on Netcast Sports, and that is awesome. That's one of the best endorsements we could possibly get. Rebound inside of WCBA. Good job there by the guards not just taking off down the floor. They knew the big man was in trouble, but they still weren't able to get it up court. Cuthbertson, and he's going to lose the handle. And it's going to stay with Newbern. Cuthbertson tracks it down in the backcourt as we near the 6-minute mark. This has been one of the faster games. We had a game earlier that went with a lot of grinded out stoppages, but this one's been pretty fast. And it's nobody's game yet, or anybody's game. Deep shot, no good. Rolls over the backboard, and everybody that's played basketball knows what that means. That is an out-of-bounds play all day. Uses the pick over the top. Rims out, went all the way in, and rolled all the way out. Tough shot for him. And now Newbern with the lead. There's a lot of time here. I mean, it's been a quick game. I don't know if they want to try to take some air out of the ball this early. The halves have been so fast it might be effective, but I don't know if that's what they're going to try to do with this much time left on the clock. But they don't have a shot clock. There's no shot clock here, so you know, it might work. Let's see what they do here. Looks like they're going to drive. Turn and no good. Rebound and good. And just like that, that's been the killer all day is the offensive rebound. The transition buckets, the offensive rebounds, and the deep three ball. And WCBA's had some deep threes as well, and they've gotten themselves to the free throw line. That's been their weapon of choice, drawing fouls. And it does look like Newbern may be trying to be patient. If WCBA is not going to come out and force that 5-second call, there's really no reason for Newbern to do anything but just wait. And Cuthbertson can use that length and gets around and in and scores. That possession could not have gone better for the Newbern Storm. I think that WCBA probably should have come out a little bit quicker. But then that's the problem. See, I know the coach is probably watching this and saying, Marcus, the guy, if he comes out, Cuthbertson's going to put it on the floor and get around him. He's got that 6'6", good first step and length, and that's exactly what he did. So, yeah, I'd have to agree with him. That's the dilemma. Do you wait and let them just pick and choose when they want to attack, which might be never? Or do you come out on a guy and risk getting blown by that long slashing move that Cuthbertson has? In WCBA, they get themselves to the line, and they've done well here at the line in this game. So this is good for WCBA. Newbern's not able to run any more time off the clock. They've got a chance to cut into that lead because this is, I think, the biggest lead or close to the biggest lead that Newbern has had. We got some vocal choir action going on over here as we are imploring rebounding, or at least the parents are imploring. One parent in particular. Hey, at least they're in the game, right? So now Newbern looks like they're going to go into their offense a little quicker. And it works out for them. Another bucket. And WCBA time becoming a bit of a factor, even with this much time on the clock, because the game has been so fast. There haven't been a lot of calls. That's a wild shot. They need something better than that. Battle in the backcourt. They do come up with it. No backcourt violation because it was tapped by a Newbern player. But now picked up off the floor, and now Newbern's got a chance to break. A little 2-on-2. He was kind of out of control there, and that's exactly what Chuck is going to call the charge. And he is hurt, so we'll see if he may have injured his, 338, 69 to 60. I think 338 did it. We'll look to work to adjust this. And the trainer is coming out to check on him. And I hope that young man is all right. Seems to be favoring his left arm. So that is good and bad news. So hopefully there's no break in his arm. And as a person who's had a leg injury, a knee injury myself when I played basketball many, many years ago, I would much prefer to see a player get injured in an arm than a leg. And he seems that if he had a broken arm, I don't think they would just letting him walk off. So he's probably going to come over here. They're going to put some ice on it, take a look at it, and the trainer's going to work on him, and hopefully he'll be back in action if everything goes well. And here we see the Newbern coach, Coach Bryant, coming out. And he's going to clean things up. Once again, I'd like to thank Phenom Hoop Report, Rick Lewis and Jamie Shaw, for allowing us to cover this weekend's event. They're a force for good in the grassroots community. You hear a lot of terrible things about AAU, and those guys are not in any way affiliated with that kind of stuff. This is a fantastic event. Every event they put out, I think, has been better than the last, and I can't recommend their events more highly. Deep three ball, that would be a big help, and it is. As that cuts right into the lead. And that's a big help now. It cuts it down to a two-possession game. But with 3 minutes left, it just seems like this clock has just been vanishing. And that can't be good for WCBA. And Newbern now goes back into that bit of a stall ball. Up and good. And that's going to be a charge. No shot. And you have to wonder in Newbern, I mean, sure the coach would tell him the same thing. It's like, why are you taking that shot? You know, why wait and wait and wait and then take a shot where you're charging? I mean, you'd rather just pull up for a mid-range or something rather than do that. Now here's Tristan Reese back into the game. Gets it to the high post, whips outside. Another three ball. Huge shot there. Cuthbertson now bringing it up. He looks at the time. And now the stall ball may not be their best option. They want the best shot. And Ellis up and good. Going the other direction. Reese pulls it out and then uses a little misdirection and gets himself to the free throw line. Every call that goes against a particular team, there's somebody in the gym that is vocal about it, and that is what it's like in AAU. That's what it's like in high school too. I mean, I'll be honest, that's just the way it is. We have a timeout on the floor. 2:11 left to play, 68-71. As I said before, check out PhenomHoopReport.com. Look at your scoreboard. That's the URL. Go there. Watch this game. Go there. Check it out. See all the results of this weekend's tournament, all the stats, all the write-ups. all the upcoming events. It's so much on there, I can't even tell you everything that's on there because they've been doing it for years. They just launched a new site a couple of months ago, and it looks great. And if you don't go and check it out and you're trying to find out more about AAU or find good tournaments, I just can't help you. You know, that's really one of the best resources, one of the best places to start there. So now 2 minutes left. Newbern with a very slim lead, but they have not relinquished that lead in a while. Once they got it back, WCBA led for a brief period, and now here they've got a chance again. So good defense. Deep shot might be early, but good. WCBA coming back. I told you they wouldn't get rattled. Now there's Tristan Reese with a steal. And he's going to pull it out. He wants his team to set up the offense. Reese has been kind of a stabilizing force here at the guard. Little crossover. Had a step on his man, but then lost the handle, so he pulls it back out. Calls for the pick drive. Slices, and that's going to be a turnover. .71 all. 1:24 left to go. We played all the way down all weekend for the next 1 minute and 24 seconds. Unless there's overtime, and we've had that several times this tournament. First shot good by Newbern. Back-to-back free throws. There's Tristan Reese bringing it up. Stop. That three ball's been falling for him, but that time no good, and Newbern comes up with it. And we have a foul in the backcourt. So we've got about a little over a minute here left to go. Once again, I've been Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports. You've been watching the 2015 Grassroots Tip Off Classic. You've been watching it all weekend probably, and I appreciate you guys joining us. And for the last minute here, we're gonna keep up with it a little bit, but I'm gonna step out of the way just a bit as we get closer to the end. And thank you everybody for tuning in once again, and let you know to check out netcastsports.com for all the replays, and follow us on Twitter at netcastsports, and we'll see what happens here in the next minute. A minute and change now, as Newbern has built up a little bit of a lead. A slim lead, easily manageable by WCBA, but they've got to make their decision quickly. And good idea there, trying to feed it into the post. Knocked away with some tough defense there by Newbern. Their spacing was good on that set. But WCBA's got another crack at it. Oh, and it dribbles off the foot. Dribbles off the foot of WCBA. Tough inbounds. Bad break for them. And now Newbern's got the shot that they want. They got the ball. And under a minute. Oh, and that's just the trailer, and not able to score, but gets up there and gets himself to the line. And I believe that might be Braxton Cherry at the line. These free throws are really big. Right now it's a one-possession game, and with that free throw it becomes a two-possession game. And that changes their offensive options dramatically. Now, the second one would still keep it at a two-possession game, but that means 2 threes. So this second shot slightly less important, but they would love to have it. And it tantalizingly rolls around the rim and in. So now, and I believe I misspoke, it's only a 5-point lead. been a long weekend, guys. Sorry, I'm going to make mistakes. You know, you guys have been watching this all weekend. You know I'm going to make a lot of mistakes anyway. I can't defend that. It's just going to get worse as the games go on. This is the kind of mistakes that you'll see when I'm on Twitter. I'll be misspelling names and I'll be doing all this stuff, and yet somehow I still have gotten guys into college. That's the amazing thing. It's more about passion than accuracy, I think. Just passion about actually finding players that can play. Coaches will figure it out. They've proven to do that. So with under 30 left to go, Newbern now really in control, and WCBA kind of looking at the short end of the stick. They've got to come up with some magic if they can. We have a timeout on the floor. 79-71. We're off by a bit. 30.2. We're going to adjust. We cannot give it an exact representation. If you are so inclined and you could stand to watch to listen to me at all anymore, check out M_Shockley on Twitter. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports. I promise you that the same nonsense that you're hearing in this game will be even worse on Twitter. I will be boring. I will be misstating names. I will be saying things that upset a lot of the people in AAU. And by that I mean some of the people who are trying to rob parents and kids and stuff like that. I'll be honest, I am kind of vocal about that. And I'm just going to step out of the way right now and let you guys enjoy the last 30 seconds, and we'll see what happens. And with that last stoppage, I'm going to shut up and get out of the way and enjoy just pure basketball for the last half a minute. Thanks a lot, guys.